Hello, um, my name's Stephen Johnston. This is my presentation, hopefully to the TEDx conference. I owe you an apology, maybe because I had a problem with the technology, and I've since worked it out. I'm also aware that this presentation is getting to you late, so I just still hope I can be considered. My presentation consists of an analysis and presentation regarding mental health in accordance to your themes, and an accompanying poem. So I'll start with the actual talk. Your theme: inspire, collaborate, act. My theme is an extension regarding mental health, mental illness and suicide prevention. My background: I've worked quite a few agencies in Tasmania as a social worker. My last job was with Mental Health Tasmania. I have particular interest in mental health and suicide prevention. I take a different or a variation. Your theme: inspire, collaborate, act, throws up a lot of challenges for those with mental health problems. The way I see it, I put collaboration first. From my standpoint, although the process is fluid, it is through the connection with people that inspiration can grow, especially when it concerns mental health, who are the most disadvantaged and the least easy to communicate with. There's a big trust issue here, which needs to be overcome. And that is needed for those who have mental health problems to come on board. The mentally ill are often isolated, withdrawn, lonely, depressed, and in the case of schizophrenias, they have symptoms like deep paranoia, auditory and visual hallucinations. More prevalence now has been focused on post-traumatic stress disorder, with its military origin, but PTSD is widespread, despite people not going to war. It's trauma can happen in other ways. One would be aware that depression has been given a lot of attention because of Beyond Blue. It's certainly raised the awareness, especially amongst male suicide in rural areas and suicide in general. Coupled with that, mental illness is compounded with more than one issue impacting upon one another. This is called comorbidity. Issues like sexual abuse, drug alcohol dependence, violence, bullying, harassment can all have a significant influence. I'm sure you can think of others. I'd also like to emphasise that I'm not talking about a small population here, or a small demographic. 1 in 5 people in Australia will suffer mental illness in their lives. To the middle class, it's I believe there's a lack of awareness. People who are educated, employed, financially secure, healthy, and in control of their own decisions is a status that many people take for granted. Such a lifestyle and a position in life is considered wishful thinking for those mental health sufferers. It's something that they may it's beyond their reach. Basic needs need to be met before we climb up the ladder, if you like. Food, shelter and clothing. These basic needs need to be overcome before the mentally ill take their rightful place in society. A few other points I would make, which I would elaborate in my presentation, was talking more about suicide prevention and how it can be effectively dealt with. And I think that the essential points, the essential needs or conditions or issues that need to be tackled concern communication skills, accommodation. Accommodation was pointed out by Professor McGorry when he was Australian of the Year as being critical to the well-being of the mentally ill, and he lobbied hard to get some funding, and funding never came. What's happened is that those people who go into a psych ward, for example, they are chronically ill and they come out with nowhere to go, no supported accommodation, no house to live in, no support. It's been ignored for too long. I think coupled with that is that an understanding that is lacking is that mental illness is a lifelong illness. It doesn't come and go and over in 3 or 6 months. It stays with you all your life. It's not intermittent. It's still not looked at in that way. Couple of what I'm on about is the need for befriending and outreach, providing resources, being alert to potential signs and difficulties that people are suffering, or that's not always obvious. Providing a safety net. Providing good help. Too often those who need help are restricted, they're isolated. Too much is given to the professional in the office. Often mentally ill people can't get to the office. You've got to go to them. Finally, I'm trying to be proactive. I try to to be proactive in my approach. You've got to be in suicide prevention. It's no good crying spilt milk after the event, which often happens. That's basically it. It's going to be expanded, but I'll send you what I've got here, and I've made quite a few changes to what I originally sent to you. I'm a poet, and I write I'm a practicing poet, and performance poet. I read in quite a few locations in Launceston, and I read at the Junction Arts Festival, and the session poetry sessions, and Nana's poetry sessions, and but I'll read you one that's particularly relevant to mental health issues. It's called Scary. Scary. Scary, scary, scary. Scary for me, scary for you. Scary to read with stage fright too. Can be a little too public. You fine-tune your spiel. Sometimes we do not know how to feel. Scary, we know, can be bigger than this. Scary is random, out of the blue. Once is enough, if we are lucky. Scary can repeat itself, become continuous, then it gets murky. One may trace scary back to the start. It can help you understand and hence recover. Everyday scary is around all the time. The deepest scary, you just never know. We have layers of scary. It's the onion that makes you cry. No wonder we want to cook with haste and keep the tears from our eyes. Whatever the scary, it has an impact. It is the cross we bear with the stiff upper lip. It is often repeated and tends to wear thin. This is survival. We need a tough skin. Now the war zone extends to our own back door. We get the fallout of fear when we thought we were immune. Our big deal ain't so big. The scary for some is lonely and full of horror. No one won the war. No accolades. No heroes. No peace. No freedom. Instead, a vicious cycle of wishful thinking and inept analysis. We are all left numb and displaced, without boundaries, states, countries, swimming in an amorphous, relentless tragedy. That's the political and the social. These make up the personal scary. One big scary that stems from conflict, as I'm sure you are aware, is post-traumatic stress disorder, the acronym PTSD. Yet PTSD applies more widely to those who have been abused, sexually and physically, all those who are traumatised from something that was out of their control. Things are often not what they seem. For those who have been traumatised, what do we do? The scary marks us hide from the past. Help is not forthcoming. All those with trauma from whatever source need tender loving care, or TLC, or outreach. TLC for PTSD. Could have a little bit of a theatre here with people chanting this. TLC for PTSD. Good political slogan. We are united not by our division or by how much scary we carry, but by our humanity. It is because that we are all scared, some more than others. No matter where we live, that we need to heal and be healed. Are we not all family? We are all driven by fear and healed by love. Getting out of bed is scary. Watch your step. Thanks very much. That's my bit. Hope I get accepted. Thank you. Bye.